State Representative and newly elected Ag Commissioner Sid Miller, who began the week with what he called Cupcake Amnesty. With plenty of cupcakes to pass around, he said there's still confusion over the statewide rules that once banned cupcakes and other junk food from classrooms. The Ag Department is the state agency that oversees the school lunch program. Miller said those rules put in place by then Ag Commissioner Susan Combs were repealed last July. But Combs told the Texas Tribune later in the week that she issued a cupcake clarification back in 2004, allowing cupcakes for birthdays ever since. The next year, a law was approved to guarantee that. But Miller stands by the need for his event. We spoke with him earlier about that and the very serious issues facing agriculture today.
I used to be a school teacher, and I used to serve on the school board, so I know how frustrating those mandates, especially the ones that have no funding with them, are to our local schools. And hopefully, our federal government can take an example from Texas, because the National School Lunch Program is an abysmal failure. We've had 1 million students drop out of the school lunch program in the last year. We've thrown away over $1 billion of food dollars, so obviously it's not working. Every 5 years that program has to be renewed, and it's up this year. So I'll be in Washington explaining to our congressional leaders that we need a workable, sensible solution to the nutritional program, and that's best done at the local level, and the federal government needs to butt out.
What is the priority for the Agriculture Department this session for you?
Well, the priority is we have a lot of priorities. Water is going to be our #1 issue. It's huge to every Texan in the state. Health care. How do we relate to health care? Well, we have a whole department that deals with delivering health care throughout the state.
Particularly rural areas, right?
Particularly rural, underserved areas, rural areas, small counties, cities, communities. That's important to every Texan. I mean, if you're in a deer camp and have an accident, or you're traveling on Thanksgiving or across the country, and you have a problem, all of a sudden rural health care becomes pretty important. Marketing, we want to take Texas Department of Agriculture has a Go Texan program. We want to take that to a higher level. We're definitely going to expand on our global trade. That made that one of my priorities, that we're going to take Texas products worldwide.
There was just not that long ago, a delegation from China that was here talking, and you were hoping that maybe beef exports could take place.
Well, we hosted 7 of the Chinese leaders from the Gansu province. We did sign a proclamation of resolution of cooperation, and we are going to we're going over there with the delegation. I also have trade missions already set up to Malaysia and Taiwan and Cuba. And
now that we have the relationship with Cuba again.
Well, we've always been selling agricultural products to Cuba. I mean, that's not a new thing for Texas. We've been selling them rice and grain sorghum and other products. Simply had to go through a third party, and they had to prepay it. And basically what lifting the embargo does, allows us to sell on the credit, but the credit's not very good, so I don't know how big a difference that will make. And it's not a large number of people. It's the same number of people in Los Angeles County, except people in Los Angeles County have money. So, but it will make a difference. A couple of areas that's really going to help Texas agriculture that it hasn't in the past. We'll be able to sell our timber products there, lumber, which will help our East Texas timber trade.
Right.
And we'll be able to sell them farm machinery. Now, they don't have the money to buy new tractors and combines, but it will be a good market for our used farm equipment.
Before we go, there was a point that you were making with me before we actually started the segment I thought was very interesting, and I didn't really equate it with the Keystone Pipeline vote in Congress and ultimately what might happen in terms of bringing this crude oil via pipeline ultimately to Texas. But this has an impact on Texas agriculture. How?
Well, it has a huge impact. People don't realize, but 3 years ago when they said, if we don't build the pipeline, the Keystone Pipeline, all Canada will send its oil to China, and it won't, when we need it. Well, that didn't happen. It's still coming to the Texas coast to our refineries. The problem is it's all coming by rail. Rail shipments are up tenfold from what they were 3 years ago.
Which is amazing.
It's just got all of our rail tied up. We can't get corn in from up north. We can't get chicken feed to East Texas to our poultry farmers over there, or commodities up in the Panhandle to our dairies, or West Texas to our feedlots. So we're having to take all that by truck, which drives up the cost of production, which drives up the price of consumer goods. Plus, it's already puts a huge burden on our overburdened transportation system. So,
but you're the concern that the president may have about you counter saying that the other ways are not as safe.
Which is a safer way to transport crude oil, in a pipeline buried deep underground, or send it on rail cars or trucks or by ship. Those are the most vulnerable environmental concerns. So to me, if you want to have the safest form of shipment for the environment, the pipeline is undoubtedly the way to go.